Hey guys, so since Liberator is coming to an end in the next few weeks, or at the very least this story arc, and all of the level 7s are now out, I just wanted to get some thoughts out there about them and just kind of talk about who I think is good, who's bad, all that kind of stuff. This is mostly going to be my opinion and not really a statement on the card itself or how it works in the game, but more how the individual level 7 works within its own archetype. And to start off, we're going to go with Magnetic Dramon, the best or the worst of the best in my opinion. Now, when I say that, what I'm meaning is let's really just take a look at him. Okay, so he's got the same stat line as all of the level 7s. They've all got 14 play cost, Digivolve for 4. They all have 14k DP, and they all have this line that says that they can Digivolve over their respective level 5s for 6 cost as long as their tamer is available. So far, so good. All of them have this. And so his effects that are unique are, of course, he's got Fragment 3, which Fragment is the special ability or special keyword that's been given to the mineral archetype that he's a part of. Okay, still good, still good. So when digivolving, when attacking by trashing one mineral or rock trait card from any of your Digimon's Digivolution cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon and trash their top security card. Great. So mechanically so far, we're doing great. This is kind of an extension of what the various Pyramidimons have been doing. They've got Fragment. They trash from anybody's sources, so they don't have to have any left over when they activate their effect. Yeah, fantastic. When digivolving, when attacking, once per turn, by placing 3 rock or mineral trait cards from your trash as this Digimon's Bomb Digivolution card, it unsuspends. Okay, wait a sec, what? So, wait, but I thought the whole thing was them trashing, and I guess Pyramidimon does that too? Wait, so like, what do you do then? I thought that was your job. Uh, you know what? We're fine. You can go. Bye bye. So I feel like that kind of removes part of the strategic element of cost and um, cost balance initiative that you have to do whenever you're using their effects, which I'm a little on. So that's mechanically it's pretty good. I think the top end does have that problem of grabbing more cards from trash, but that's fine. And let's check out his design. So aesthetically, we have uh, we have a small rock lizard that becomes a bigger sand lizard that becomes a big rock turtle that becomes a vaguely Egyptian themed sandstorm rock creature. So that's pretty good. And then big rock dragon. So I think aesthetically he fits in just fine. So my problem is the little bit of mechanics towards the end just kind of seem out of nowhere, but the rest of the card I think is pretty great. All right, so let's continue on with Neon Bootmon, the best of the worst. And so what I mean by that is mechanically, he does pretty good. He's got the standard stat lines. Overclock, okay, that's their special keyword. So all of the top end have it. Oh, and I guess I should warn you, there flashbang. These are just all going to be random, whatever rarities I could find quickly, and whatever printings I grabbed first. So if you're looking for consistently alt arts or regular arts, you might want to just turn away now. But when digivolving, You can play a level 4 lower puppet trait Digimon without paying the cost. Then one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 DP for each of your Digimon. So Syndromon, her whole thing has been playing out the familiar tokens, but now a more powerful Digimon, Bootmon, can play out full Digimon, and then instead of waiting on the tokens to get deleted to do their minus effect, we just have he goes ahead and does it. All turns, when any of your other Digimon are deleted, you may activate one of the Digimon's when Digivolving effects. So more on play, more playing out more stuff. So mechanically, I think this is a pretty good win. It basically just expands on everything that Sendrilmon has been doing, and that the whole deck has been kind of building up to. Aesthetically, I think this does fit. He's Puss in Boots. Very obviously, that's what the character is. But and that fits in with the Fable Waltz archetype, and therefore the aesthetics of it. But if we really think about it, how is that a puppet? And this kind of goes with the whole evolution line of you have Shumon, who is a sock puppet in a shoe, and I guess you could make a stretch of it being a reference to the old lady who lives in a shoe, although apparently it's supposed to be a reference to Cinderella starting off, in the shoe that she lost, and the mice that made her outfit. Although I thought the familiar tokens were supposed to be those mice, but I digress. Shumon is a child in a squirrel costume. I guess there have been tales of children in squirrel costumes for eons, right? Okay. Chaperomon. Now we have an actual puppet again. She's got obvious stitch marks, and she's supposed to be Little Red Riding Hood. She fits both aesthetical themings. Cinderella, or Cindrilmon, is Cinderella and a grown woman. I don't know how that's a puppet. I don't know. If she had some stitch marks, if she had a pull string, something like that, I would say okay. And Bootmon is a cat. So aesthetically, they've been building up towards a humanoid figure and human proportions, and then we go to cat. So I don't know how these two things. Like, I don't know how we got from Cinderella to Puss in Boots. And to be fair, he kind of looks more like a champion anyway. Maybe Nyan Bootmon should have been a level 4, and then we'd have a bridge between cat in a shoe and woman doll. A bestial becoming more humanoid. So in my mind, that doesn't really fit very well, and also we kind of get the whole thing with Kageyamon and her line being more puppets anyway, so feels like that should fit better. But mechanically, I think Nyan Bootmon works out really well. Aesthetically, I think is where he falls apart. But let's go back with something more positive, and Ex Machinamon. Okay, so Ex Machinamon is our only DNA Digivolved level 7, and he's the one who breaks the stat line. So 15 cost, 5 to Digivolve, 15k. Okay, he's a little bit stronger than any of the other Digimon, but he's also supposed to be final villain material. We're fine with that. DNA Digivolved, he's a DNA combination of Dolphimon and Metatron. So we have two separate lines that work up to him. So he's going to have more powers. Security attack +1, blocker, and link +2, with Machinamon being all about the links. That does kind of fit, and it makes it so that he's got a lot. He's got decent abilities. He's very aggressive. He can be a blocker if you need one, and link +2 means that he can power himself up and have multiple negates for when somebody tries to remove him from the field. Great. When digivolving, if DNA digivolving, you may link up to 3 Machinamon from your hand, trash, or this Digimon's Digivolution cards to this Digimon without paying the cost. Great. So when digivolving, it's only going to happen once. It has to be DNA digivolving, so you have to have two stacks out. That is what the deck is working towards, so it's not super hard, but it's going to happen. So once again, that gives him all 3 of the aren't going to leave, making him big final boss, hard to kill. Okay, thematic, works out. And end of opponent's turn, once per turn, for each of this Digimon's link cards, trash your opponent's top security card and return one of their Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Okay, so he clears out the board, and also he's going to trash their security. Once again, big boss, final threat, yada yada. He's got to be able to do it. So thematically, he seems to fit, and as far as I've seen with the whole deck, it builds up to get to him as quickly as possible, but does seem to also have kind of a hard play, expensive cards aspect to it. So more than likely, it's going to set your opponent to have a large amount of memory that you'll then have to deal with. Okay, so I think mechanically he works out pretty well. What about aesthetically? So the aesthetics of this type are set up by Machinamon. The whole deck has green beasts and black machines. He is bestial on his right, mechanical on his left. Okay. And he also takes aspects from from Dolphimon and Metatramon. Very cool. And not to mention that with all of the extra Machinamons in the storyline, they have multiple Digivolutions that all come together to make him. So he's a big creature, lots of power, and pretty much ready to fight off our main heroes and provide them with an actual challenge. So thematically, aesthetically, while I think the aesthetics are a little bit weak, as far as it goes, I think I think it's mostly a win. So with that said, every good villain needs to fight a hero. So he fights Vortex Dramon, our newest guy. Well, I guess Ex Machinamon is the same age, but we're back to our standard stats: play cost, Digivolution, yada yada. So, what does he bring to the table? Well, piercing. It's an aggressive deck and needs aggressive keywords. Okay, Vortex, the special keyword of the whole deck. Fantastic. Blocker. Okay, I don't see how that's big for him. I don't think that much of the deck beforehand has had blocker, but big powerful boss monster of a deck that suspends and unsuspends things. All right, I guess blocker works out. When digivolving, when attacking, you can suspend a Digimon if this effect suspended your Digimon. Until your opponent's turn ends, this Digimon isn't affected by their Digimon, and it gets plus 6,000 DP. Okay, that's a lot. Unaffected by stuff, plus extra DP, plus the when Digivolving when attacking is not once per turn, so you can you can give yourself the effect and then and then attack so you're safe. Okay. All turns once per turn when any of your Digimon suspend, this Digimon may unsuspend, then this Digimon may battle, or when any Digimon suspend. Oh, so not even your Digimon. Everyone's Digimon. Any Digimon. If there's Digimon nearby and it suspends, it's this is gonna unsuspend. And then this Digimon battles one of your opponent's Digimon. This is a main character ass card. This is combined together. You digivolve, suspend yourself, to become immune and get bonus DP, then unsuspend yourself, fight something that you're now probably bigger than, pierce it for a check, then you attack. You suspend a blocker that because now you have to deal with the blocker and you get even more DP. This is a main character card, no, without any kind of reservations or anything. Like my biggest issue with this is definitely just that's a really good effect. And I think mechanically it kind of comes out of nowhere for him to get effect immunity as well as a big boost. There are different cards in the deck that have inheritables to give boosts, so why do you need a boost? Other than, of course, you need a boost to punch over Machinamon, because he'll have a big boost. And, oh, well, you also need something for your attacking. Because what if you just have to hard play and then you vortex in order to swing over something? Okay. This is this is a lot of just problem solving text that comes in to make sure that the good guy wins. And considering that Shoto also gave us everyone's favorite card that we all tolerate, Medieval Gallantmon, who is infinitely splashable and has been running rampant in every meta deck for 6 or more months at this point. I don't think even Shoto could eat enough paint to lose the final fight. Not with both of those at his beck and call. I mean, are you really going to tell me that he can't just Alliance and Vortex into using Alliance, Vortex, Blocker, better reboot, boosts immunity, and piercing, that he can't win? Sure. I know Shoto is the protagonist with the longest losing streak in history, but come on. So these are like the middle ground of the worst in my opinion, and that's just kind of it. Aesthetically, I do think that Vortex Dramon is a win. Like small bird into big bird into bird with a knife into robot bird with 2 knives into giant bird dragon that's covered in knives. Very aesthetically, he follows straight through. Looks big, impressive, has a bunch of stuff going for him. The only thing I didn't like is I saw the full body image of him once, and he has little jet legs. I think that does fit in aesthetically with the rest of his archetype. That part's just not for me, so that's okay. Now let's get to the best of the best. Dullahamon and Arimon. I've actually chosen that these two tie, in my opinion, for best of the best, and we'll just go over why. Standard traits. Arimon has decode level 6 or lower. Okay, so Arimon comes in after Ryugamon, and decode is their big thing. Great. So she keeps doing that. When digivolving, you can play a level 3, 4, and 5 Aqua or Sea Animal trait without from her Digivolution cards without paying the cost. That's something that the whole archetype has been doing, and continuing on with that in a bigger way that allows for not only swarming, but also you get the on-play effects. Great. It also means that she won't have things that she can decode, so the player has to make a choice and can lose resources like that. When digivolving, when attacking, by placing one of your Digimon as this one's bomb Digivolution source, you can return one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of the deck, and this Digimon unsuspends. Unsuspending is, of course, a blue trait that we've seen on dozens of cards. And naturally, she also has a removal effect. But it is once per turn, so you have to choose. You also lower the amount of resources that you have. Honestly, I think this is a very good card that works very well in the archetype. So now uh, we have her using the proper keywords, doing a better version of what the level 6 and lower have done. So it's on theme, it's on brand, and she even gets removal that is uh, so you don't get, or you get to just remove one of your opponent's Digimon. So that's very powerful. As far as aesthetics go, the coral reef slash sea animal thing is prevalent throughout the entire archetype, and getting up to Ryugamon is whatever the hell Lapras is, and that's honestly a very beautiful, delicate creature, which then becomes a person. And pay no attention to the pearls in the pink openings there. That's just an aesthetic choice that I never noticed before. Okay, but undersea witch, undersea magic creature, kind of fits pretty well. Color scheme still going strong, and she's even got like the shells are part of her, and I feel like she's based off of several undersea animals. So fantastic. I think that's why I think Arimon is a big win for thematic level 7s. And then we come back with Dullahamon. So Dullahamon uh, has piercing. It's an aggressive deck. Okay, and we give it an aggressive keyword. Security attack +1. It's made several appearances throughout the archetype, and once again, aggressive deck. Execute. That's their keyword, and it has been it's an aggressive thing, and also costs you a Digimon. Okay, that's good. Cost benefit's always good. When digivolving, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level. Level 7. The level 6 had the same kind of thing. On play, when digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. So he has the same delete as Necromon, except it's even better. So still doing an on theme thing, but better. If this effect didn't delete, this Digimon gets plus 5,000 DP for the turn. Okay, so we're reinforcing the aggression of the deck and making it so that if you have gotten all the way up to your level 7, you've probably removed a bunch of other Digimon with your other when digivolving effects. And so we need something to make sure that's still useful. On deletion, you may play one level 6 or lower Digimon card with the ghost trait from your trash without paying the cost. So that is, of course, completely on brand. Every effect fits perfectly in line with all of the effects that the previous versions have had, except it's a bigger version of it. Well deserving of level 7. Now, aesthetic wise, the whole set goes small ghost into bigger ghost into possible security threat ghost into definitely a security threat ghost into a Dullahan. So, while the ghost aesthetic is not there, because I don't think Dullahans are spirits, they are undead as far as I remember. So that does fit in with the necromancy and undead vibes of Necromon. So it still fits on theme. And this whole thing is like Dulahamon. The only thing I've ever had to complain about with him is I just think that Dulamon would have worked better and rolled off the tongue a little bit more. But that's a minor complaint. That's just being pedantic. Majorly a win for the whole archetype, and a very nice way to finish it off, which means that you are left presenting Styrakomon. So, Styrakomon is a card that I don't like. Now, why would I not like it? Well, let's check him out. So, he's got progress. Okay. That's great. Progress makes you immune to effects while you're attacking. That's perfect for this aggressive deck. Piercing. Aggressive keyword for an aggressive deck. Perfect sense. Love it. Blocker. What? Okay, so blocker has defensive connotations. Why does this aggressive deck have a top end with blocker? Why wouldn't you just leave that for the lower down stuff? By this point, you should have your opponent shouldn't even have things to attack with, right? You've swung over all of them. Okay, armor purge. That's another defensive keyword. Why does the level 7 have 2 defensive keywords? Okay, so maybe I'm overreacting a little bit. They put a bunch of keywords on him. He had to be really strong, so they put keywords here to make it so that he's big and tough. Okay, maybe they didn't consider this. Okay, so let's just go ahead with his effects. When digivolving, you may trash any one of your opponent's security cards. Then this Digimon may unsuspend. Okay, well, unsuspending is a blue trait usually. I guess it helps with being aggressive, but why is this card trashing your opponent's security? That's Medusamon's thing is making petrification tokens, which on delete trash your opponent's security. Why would your opponent have any security left by the time you're going into your level 7? That doesn't fit. That's not what any of the things have done so far. And before this, removing your opponent's security, the inheritables all say things about gaining memory, so extending your turns and plays almost like you're going into a level 7. All right. Well, 1 strikeout's not too bad. When you're all turns, once per turn, when your opponent's security is trashed, is removed from, you may delete one of their Digimon. Okay, we're back with aggressive moves. Medusamon deletes stuff on occasion, and you can't just swing over everything if there's a swarm, right? Okay, cool. All turns, once per turn, when any of your reptile or dragonkin trait Digimon would leave the battle area by deleting one of your opponent's lowest DP Digimon, they don't leave? So we're back to another defensive effect. And not only that, but this defensive effect means that you accelerate too. You removed something when you digivolved. You deleted something when you swung over. You swung through, pierced, ignored effects, a security card was removed. So you deleted something, or you digivolved, and then a security card was removed, and you deleted something. Why do you need to delete again? Why is it removing an opponent's card to save your own cards? What is going on? Why does he have 3 defensive abilities as the top end of a super aggressive deck, and an ability that doesn't make sense because you should have already cashed in all of your trash security things. What? Okay, so obviously mechanically I don't think he works at all. Um and what about aesthetically? Okay, so little lizard with a frill goes into bigger lizard with a frill down her back into snake woman with the frills becoming a dress into snake lady with a full on rocker kind of punk aesthetic dress going on, and then it's a robot that's a dinosaur now. I mean, Dimetramon is kind of based off of a dinosaur, but this is a Styracosaurus, which isn't related. It's also got a bunch of missile pods and lasers and knives and things. None of the other the closest we get to any of the other uh, Digimon having a weapon is Medusamon's mouth feet. So what's going on? Why does it suddenly need a bunch of weapons and is defensive and have a face in its mouth? So this whole thing has been basically somebody with the aesthetics of a fighter who gets in close and fights with her hands, suddenly becomes big robot with missiles, so a long ranged combatant. The only thing that ties this card visually to anything that came before is they use the same shade of or a similar shade of red. Actually, I think the artwork on this one is kind of messing with the analogy a little bit. So I think this is the same shade of red as the regular version of Medusamon. Uh, this is robotic. Nothing that came before is robotic. This is a ranged fighter. Nothing has ever been ranged about this. Um, it's a dinosaur. What happened to the reptile theme? And we were going heavier into snakes and royalty. Like we were getting fancy. How is this fancy? Like this card is another one of it's like the worst version of a main character card because it just has a bunch of effects thrown on it that don't really make sense with the archetype from beforehand, and then feels like it had additional effects stapled on afterwards so that it kind of fits in. The aesthetics are all wrong. This is the worst boss monster for a deck ever. Like it doesn't fit at all. All right, so that's just kind of my thoughts on everything. Um, and I guess I'll say it now. This is obviously all just my opinion, not really based off of the merit of the cards. I actually think that they're all, as a card, they're really good. Even Styrakomon is very. I've had my butt kicked by that card too many times to say that it's bad. I've had my butt kicked by Magnetic Dramon to ever call him the worst at anything, and playing with Dullahamon, with Neon Bootmon, very fun. Sorry, Arimon, I don't do blue very often, but that's really just these are just my opinions on how they fit in with the archetypes that they were made for, and before you say it, yes, I know aesthetically that Digimon can do stuff like a dog into a cat into a grown woman into a pink dragon. More recent Digimon has had a lot more consistency with designs, such as Gamamon becoming slightly larger, Red Gamamon becoming a dragon inspired by Gamamon, becoming a knight that looks like he really liked Gamamon. All right. um, Guilmon, Growlmon, War Growlmon, and McGeedramon just fit an aesthetic to a T. And if you want to be pedantic about it, Gallantmon is a knight that fights dragons, and was when Guilmon combined with a human, making so more human data was introduced. Anyway, to stop rambling and end the video, go ahead and you can comment below on what you think about these Digimon, and of course, let me know if what your opinion is, and I don't know, just comment on if you agree with me or not. All right, have a good one, guys. See you next time. Bye.